Talk about writing these books. How important is that for you?
Oh, it's a labor of love. I mean, I love doing the research, and I love to read and I love to write, so especially about baseball and all sports. So it's a labor of love. I mean, it's much easier to do now than it used to be in the old days. In the old days, 30 years ago, and starting out in this business 40 years ago, you have to go to the library to look up the microfilm and get all this information. Now it's at your fingertips. It's just a matter of doing the right, making it, readable, things like that, making it interesting, finding little angles maybe if you're dealing with a topic that's been talked about a lot before, finding little, nuggets or tidbits, so to speak, that people didn't know. And that's what I try to add to my books and make them a fun read. And I have a lot of fun doing it.
Now, the Yankees, the rumor out in the websites, etc., what have you, is that the Yankees may not be getting Machado after all. You got an opinion on that?
Well, I kind of I'd heard that before. I heard the Phillies were in on him big. That's what I was hearing, because I'm hearing that he wants to play shortstop full time. There were many media guys out there making an assumption, or analysts, I should say, making an assumption that he was going to sign with the Yankees, play shortstop for 3-4 months, and then, hello, here's Didi, and I'm going to move to third. He's a terrific talent, but we had heard these diva rumors before about him. It floated around. When you're in the business, Ray, you hear stuff. When the kid's a talented kid, but at times, he tends to let his ego get in front of what's right and what's best for the team. He wants to play shortstop. I mean, that's his prerogative. He has the right to sign where he wants. I don't think the Yankees could have promised him a full-time shortstop job. They want to bring Didi back after next year. So you're going to sign Manny for big money, make the assumption he's going to move to third. You got the kid over at third, Miguel Andujar should have been Rookie of the Year. Already he's working on his defense, and to me, there's not much there to work on. It's just his footwork.
Right.
If he gets his footwork down, he'll make the throws. And this kid had tremendous offensive numbers. So, I mean, you're going to spend a lot of big money on Manny Machado. Who knows if that's going to guarantee that pushes you up over the Red Sox? There's no guarantee there. I think they could win if they don't sign Machado.
I think what happened, too, 2 years ago, the Yankees were thinking, you hear all these rumors, okay, Machado becomes a free agent, the Yankees are going to sign him. And what happened was Didi stepped up in the last couple of years, and he's the man at shortstop. So I kind of agree with you. I don't know if the Yankees should put all that money into him.
I mean, who made you gay, Paul?
I'm not gay, Paul. I'm just as a fan, just saying. Gil, what do you think about? What do you guys think about this Machado thing?
I said, look, we talked about getting a pitcher. We're not lefty dominant. I would say the Yankees should go after like a Mike Moustakas just to fill in a little bit, and they don't need Machado. I would keep Andujar. I like Andujar. The guy had 50-something doubles. I mean, he had a record more than doubles. What, Joe DiMaggio's record? I mean, the guy is a fearless hitter. Why Boone sat him out the last playoff game, I don't know either. I mean, I don't know. That kid should have deserved to play throughout the whole playoffs, because without him, he wouldn't have made it through that season. So, that's my opinion.
Right. And plus, Didi has become a force in the clubhouse.
Right.
All the players love him, and he's doing a phenomenal job. So to marginalize him or bring someone in to take his, to presumably take his place would be a shame.
You have an opinion on that, Howie?
I'm not on a good line here, so I didn't catch the whole conversation. I heard him talk about Mike Moustakas. He's on the right track with that suggestion. They need a left-handed bat in that line. Here's another thing. To me, they're like, they're poo-pooing their offense, thinking it's so great. This offense is not that great. It may have some stars and power in the middle of the lineup, but it's imbalanced. I mean, it doesn't have guys. You don't have guys who steal a whole lot. They don't have a leadoff presence. I bet they don't take advantage of the first inning. I've been arguing this for the last 2 years. They bat Aaron Judge second. All right, he bats second. He has one chance to come up with a man on base in the first inning, and a lot of times he gets a solo homer because there's nobody on. So they challenge him. That's the time they really don't even walk him. But if he comes up in the first inning as the third batter, at least you give him 2 shots to get a man on base and cash in on the first inning, especially in the postseason. You want to get on the board early in the postseason. If you look at the Red Sox and the Yankees offense, the Red Sox scored 58 more runs in the first inning than the Yankees did. That's a big difference.
Yeah, now, I was reading something that one of your best interviews happened a long, long time ago before Bucky Dent hit his big home run. Talk about that a little bit. You interviewed him a couple of days before that home run.
Oh, yeah, and they may know this guy, too. Joe D'Ambrosio was the bat boy for the Yankees in '78, and he went to my school. He was a college teammate, college. We were both in the same school. And 3 days before Dent's famous home run, he used to bring a Yankee or two by to speak to the students, which was great. And so Bucky Dent happened to be coming on Friday, the Friday before the game. And we had a small radio station where I worked, and I actually had the Friday morning show. So we were all kidding, like, boy, wouldn't it be great to get Bucky on the show after he speaks to the students. Sure enough, we got him on the show, and I interviewed him. That was 3 days before the home run. And that night, in fact, Friday night, was the night Willie Randolph got hurt running down to first, and that took him out of the whole playoffs.
Right.
Unbelievable set of circumstances in those few days.
Right. So, how'd you get this gig with the Mets and the Yankees doing the scorekeeping? That's an amazing job.
Yeah, it's pretty outstanding, I have to admit. Some nights it's not that amazing. You don't want to go back to the ballpark, but those are few and far between. But if you know your rules and you watch the games, you'd be surprised. Like, people assume there's what assumptions are made, but you got to know the scoring rules. Like, you can't assume a double play. We all argue about.
I think we might have lost Howie. So you guys we're talking about Mets and Yankees. So we're talking about the Yankees a little bit. What about on the Mets side of things? What do you guys think?
We don't care about the Mets, but we'll talk about the Mets. Right.
You want me to talk about the Mets? I mean, the Mets, they always struggle. I mean, they have the pitching that to get it done with Noah Syndergaard and DeGrom. I mean, DeGrom is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But the issue for them really is getting the bats to back it up right now. And I don't think that they have enough firepower behind that. Right. I think, they should have taken the opportunity last year to trade for some more prospects and let them develop their system a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I think right now they kind of rely on selling tickets with the name brand in DeGrom and Thor, and I don't know if that'll do it for them and for the fans.
Right.
Do you think that they have improved enough to to give it a run?
I personally don't believe so, and part of that is just because, when you grow up a Yankee fan like I have and you watch the Mets for so many years, it's kind of hard to, even when they do make the right moves, it's kind of hard to believe in them until you kind of see something succeed on the field.
Kind of like being a Vikings fan. But they did shore up the bullpen. Their Diaz and Familia came back, so the bullpen looks a little bit better. Cespedes is an unknown. I mean, I don't even know what's going on with that guy.
Exactly.
They can stay healthy.
The issue with them, I consistently has been on the offensive side of things. It's not as much the pitching.
Right.
Howie, are you there?
Yeah, much better line. It was like crackling before.
Okay, now I got to ask you, are the Mets that much more improved?
They're improved. I mean, it's still going to depend on the health of their starting rotation, but they fortified themselves in certain areas. And, there's reason to be optimistic there. They've made some decent moves. I like Wilson Ramos. Obviously, he has to stay on the field. It's going to give them a decent right-handed bat when he's in the lineup. More impactful than they've had. And they have a lot of lefties, so they need righties in their lineup. They could use another right-handed bat in the outfield. First base is still a question mark. This kid they picked up from the Astros may work out. He had a lot of upside when they drafted him a couple of years ago. J.D. Davis is a right-handed power hitter. His defense is okay at third. It's not great. It's not terrible. But he's not that athletic. He's got a good arm. He's actually pitched in the past, too, and he could play first. They say he's got pretty good bat speed. He's a right-handed hitter. So, they made some shrewd trades, but they traded a lot of prospects away. But they didn't exactly have a top 10 farm system, according to some of the rankings. So, but they brought back some people in this trade for Kevin Plawecki from Cleveland. They brought back 2 minor leaguers. So they got the right idea. I mean, they have to capitalize on their starting rotation. That's their strength. If they pitch like they did in the second half, they're going to be right in it. I mean, if Syndergaard stays healthy, DeGrom, he may drop off. He had a tremendous year. To duplicate that would be asking a lot. That doesn't mean he can't win. And then you got Matz and Wheeler to me, I would have used Wheeler in a deal for something else, as you know, because you still got Lugo and Gazelman. So, you know, yeah, I think they've improved. I don't know how much they've improved, but they're definitely in the mix there for the division.
Howie, I got to ask you one last question, and that is, if you were a plumber or a pimp, or or just a guy that worked at a grocery store.
I was a plumber.
Right. Oh, good. Well, let me ask you.
You weren't a pimp, were you?
I gotta ask you, who would you root for, the Yankees or the Mets?
It would depend on where you lived. I grew up in the Bronx, so it was an automatic fit for me. Plus, the Yankees were winning when I started to follow them, so it was very easy to root for the Yankees. I don't know. I could give you a legitimate answer. I can only tell you from personal experience. And I've grown to like the Mets too, because you work with them, and hey, you want to work more games. You want to see them do well and get into some postseason. We all could use more games. We don't get paid a ton, but we can use the extra work, that's for sure.
Well, listen, thank you so very much. We'd love to have you on again, because nobody knows the game like you do, and I mean that, okay? You're sharp, and you wouldn't be the official scorer at Yankee Stadium if you didn't know the game the way you do, okay? I know how the Yankees are.
I appreciate your support, my friend, and anytime you guys want, anytime you got me.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Howie Carpenter. Thank you very much, sir. Have a great night.
The great Howie
yeah.
Carpenter.
All right, buddy. Take care. Enjoy.
This is Reach Out with Ray and Steve. We're going to try to get Dwight Good on the line, and I think he's holding tight. But what do you think of Howie's work? I mean, being a...
That's great, and I was interested. He's going to write an article about a book about the Rangers, 79. Right. I mean, I was 14, 15. That was a big thing. We would go to sit in the blue seats, but we wouldn't pay. We'd give the ushers $1, and we'd stand upstairs, and in the blue seats, you were able to play hockey, foos hockey, and cup hockey, anything.
Anything went up there.
Yeah,
anything fire starting,
Yeah. The blue seats were really in the 70s. If you ever went to a Ranger game or a Knick game in the 70s, especially a playoff game, it was an experience.
So you're a Ranger fan. Yeah. They used to practice in Long Beach.
Correct.
Do you know why they left Long Beach? I know the answer to this.
I don't know. Boundless started then, right? Is that
no. They left Long Beach because they were on the West End, and all the players kept partying up too much, and they'd be late for practices.
So it got better when they moved to Manhattan?
They moved somewhere else. They hightailed it out of Long Beach. They only there 1 or 2 years.
Hey, those guys, those guys always partied.
Steve Vickers, right?
Vickers, Gilbert, Hatfield.
I heard through the internet. Listen, I'm talking over here. What's wrong with you?
Go ahead. I'm just making sure Dwight Gooden's on the phone.
I heard through the internet that your first man crush was for Ron Duguay.
Ron Duguay? Well, that's
my
sister's love Ron
Duguay. Just lose the hair.
Not Ron Duguay.
We ain't through the internet.
Maybe, but not Ron Duguay.
Where'd you see
my
the
sister
internet?
I couldn't even fit into those 10 jeans.
Well,
like
there's a video out there that someone took of you wearing Sassoon jeans and you were shaking your booty.
Who's that? Gustin Ziada?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, he's a big Met fan, Gustin Ziada, and he hates the Yankees.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's all good.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, the Rangers and Islanders are playing. So, I mean...
Rangers are not doing... I mean, they're in a transition. It's going to take a while. I like the guy Quinn, but it's going to take a while. They really have to unload a lot of their veterans. And I would hope that they would give Lundqvist a chance and win a cup somewhere else.
Right.
Because he's been a great Ranger, and I really think he deserves that, I think the Rangers should go up to him and say, we're going to retire your number, you agree, but let's try to win a cup and trade him to a contender.
Right. Let's switch gears a little bit, talk a little football. You have a podcast.
Yeah.
Talk about your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So I run a Colts podcast, Colts-centric, and
Colts.
It's called We Are Colts. We, and the R is actually the letter R. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify. I cover everything from the news, injuries, and how the team has been performing, which has been an absolute blast this season. I can't talk enough about how proud I am of this team. Yeah, Andrew Luck, I mean, he was counted out from last year after his surgery. Everybody thought that he would be done. Nobody really thought that he'd come back from his injury. And he's playing the best football that he's played probably in his career so far. So
can they beat the Chiefs this week?
I think so. I mean, listen, Andrew Luck came back from 38-10 deficit against the Chiefs in the wild card playoff game. That was in 2013. They have Frank Reich, who came back from what was that, 28-3?
Yeah, it was 32-3. They won 35. Yeah, the biggest. Yep,
with the
Bills.
With the Bills. Yeah. So they have two guys who are not afraid. They're not afraid of this team. I know that the Chiefs are considered a juggernaut right now, but this team doesn't scare the Colts. They've climbed back from 1-5 to start the season to make a playoff run, and now